Hi there, good morning. You've tuned into ET Now and this is Buy Now Sell Now with me, Cheryl Dusan. With me today, I have actually Soumit Sarkar. A very good morning to you, Soumit.
Good morning, Cheryl.
And also festive greetings to you and all of our viewers that have tuned in. We had a Muhurat trading session yesterday, a token session, and in that we did see the benchmark indices climb up. But today, if you look at the way how the markets are transpiring, 0.5% down to coming in for the benchmark indices. Remember that we are also reacting to what's happening globally. We had the GIFT Nifty indicate that we will be in for a softer start today, and that's exactly how it's transpired. Let's take a look at what the broader markets are doing, because last time I checked, it was the small cap index that was maintaining that positive stance in today's trading session. You have mid cap index that's trading lower. Let's take a look at Nifty mid cap 100 index and let's see what that is doing in trade today. Small cap index is still holding on to positive territory. In fact, small cap index is at the day's highest point as we speak, while the benchmark indices are at the day's lowest point. Let's take a look at what Nifty Bank is doing, because that one is moving in tandem with the benchmark indices. 0.5% downtick coming in for Nifty Bank, and the advanced decline ratio for now is very much tilted to the favor of the declines. Talking about the list of gainers and losers then, you have NTPC, Coal India, Eicher Motors, Power Grid. They are among the top gainers on the Nifty, while on the losing end is SBI Life, Bajaj Finance, HDFC Life that are actually losing. And right now, you also have ICICI Bank that's added to that list as well. So those are the set of gainers and losers in trade. And talking about the sectoral indices, is the metal index still seeing good gains? You have the PSE index that's seeing good gains, but on the flip side, the IT index that's seeing some sort of softness, as well as FMCG index. So that's the way how the markets are looking like at this point in time. Soumit, yes, you have the benchmarks that are in the negative territory, broader markets charting own course, but it'll be very interesting to see how the mutual fund activity has been right just ahead of Diwali, isn't it?
Well, yes, actually, we have that data coming in for the month of October. Mutual fund, whatever they bought and sold, that data has come in, and we have Sharath joining us to give us those details and what mutual funds have actually bought and sold ahead of Diwali. So, Sharath, what have they actually bought?
Yes, ahead of Diwali for the month of October, if you look at it, the actions, first we'll talk about the large cap space. In terms of new entries, we have Vedanta and complete exits coming in for IDBI Bank as well as Adani Energy. Also important additions and deletions is something which to watch out for in the large cap space, and the names include the names such as Kotak Mahindra Bank and Cipla coming in the additions, while reductions coming in for Infosys, SBI, as even Chola Finance. Also, the action is also coming in your overall mid-cap space as well. Like to point out, the new entries and the complete exits for the mid-cap space, looking at it, includes the names of FACT as well as complete exit coming in for Indian Overseas Bank. Now, in terms of deletions and additions, you're looking at it, the names include such as Dixon and even Coforge coming in the additions, while the reductions coming in IGL as well as Indian Hotels. Of course, this action is also coming relevant for Ipca Labs and Prestige Estate, where reduction was there. While looking at the small cap itself, the new entries include the names such as BLS International as well as Nucleus Software, and also exits, if you look at it, they are there in the Alembic as well as Apollo Microsystems. Now, of course, these are small caps as well as micro caps. Additions and reductions, if you look at it, over here we are having BSC and Nazara Tech, one of the top picks coming in, and the additions are lapping up over here. Apart from that, the reductions, if you look at it, Suzlon Energy and India Cement also make it to the list.
Well, thank you, Sharath, for giving us those details. And with that, let's step into a short break, and we'll be back and we'll take all the investor queries post the break.
Hi there, you're watching Buy Now, Sell Now, and yes, this is the show where we get to answers for all of your stock-related queries. Remember, viewers, you can connect to us live. We are on our WhatsApp number that will be flashing on your screen. Do remember, each time you write to us, write your name. Do mention the stock that you're looking to invest in. If you've already invested, mention the buy price, the quantity, as well as time horizon. In that way, we will be able to help you better. And talking about our experts today, we have Kunal Bothra as well as Mr. G. Chokalingam joining us on the show. A very good morning to you, Kunal, as well as Mr. Chokalingam. And festive greetings to both of you all. Thank you so much for joining us today on ET Now for Buy Now, Sell Now. Let me kickstart with the queries that are already pouring in. This one has come from Venkatesh all the way from Indonesia. And he wants to know whether he can average Edelweiss holding. He's holding about 1,300 shares at a price of 79 rupees per share, Kunal. And he wants to know whether he should make the switch from Wipro to HCL Tech.
Thank you so much for that, Cheryl, and good morning to you as well as to all the viewers of it now, and happy Diwali and greetings, festival greetings for the entire season. Now, on to the query of Edelweiss. So, maybe over the last few months, if you would have asked me, I would have not been very bullish on the stock price. But then over the last 1 or 2 months, there has been a dramatic change of trend for Edelweiss. It now looks very attractive. The stock has confirmed a multi-year breakout so far. Yes, it's significantly off its lifetime high levels, but the recovery in the last 2 or 3 months has been on the back of some extremely strong volumes and encouraging price patterns. So, I would suggest to go ahead and average Edelweiss at current levels. Try to bring your cost price as closer to 65, 67. So that quantity would probably be the adjustment part. And even for the second query, I think it's a good time to move on from Wipro towards HCL Tech.
Well, the next query is from Rohit, who is a long-term investor, and this would be for Chokhalingam sir. And he has around 500 shares of IDFC First, which he had bought at 78 rupees. And his query is that can he buy another 500 shares at the current level? And also he wants to know whether it's a good time to buy Devyani International and Shyam Metallics at current levels.
Definitely, I looked at fundamentals of both. In the current market condition, I am not comfortable with the valuation. I would rather give a sell call on both.
All right, Mr. Chokhalingam, coming back to you then. This one is coming from Balan, and happy Diwali to you as well, Balan, and all the viewers who are tuned in. He wants to know about CDSL and BSC. He actually had bought both and sold both of them recently. He sold it at a very good profit. Now he wants to know whether it makes sense to go ahead and buy again at these counters and at what level. Also, he wants to know about Protean eGov. Is that a good buy?
CDSL, I would say that one can start booking profit. It has moved up a lot. Yes, the new investors are coming in, which is big positive, but then that is in the price. And BSE, for compliance reason, I cannot talk. The third name, I couldn't get it properly.
Okay. The next query is from Dr. Subhaya from Tamil Nadu, and it's for Kunal. And he has queries on actually 3 stocks: Bank of Baroda, JK Lakshmi and Persistent. He has bought Bank of Baroda at a price of around 190, JK Lakshmi at a price of around 711 and Persistent at a price of around 5,419. He wants to know whether he should hold the stocks going forward.
So Bank of Baroda, you should look to hold on. JK Lakshmi also, I think, is a good hold at current levels. It's not yet confirmed a breakout, but maybe another 20 points, 25 points on the upside, say closer to 820 approximately, could be a breakout for JK Lakshmi. Persistent is the only stock which I would suggest to book profits at current levels. It's not that the charts are looking weak, but it's just that my sense is that the mid-cap IT names could probably get into a bit of a corrective mode or a profit booking mode. So you may probably get the stock back at 5,500 to 5,700 range. That could be a time where you may look to initiate a fresh buy yet again.
Mr. Chokhalingam, I believe you were asked which was the third stock. So that was Protean eGov. So Balan wants to know whether it makes sense to buy Protean eGov right now. The stock that got listed today itself, actually. And another question that I have is coming in from Suresh Babu. He's a senior citizen. He wants to know whether he should invest in India Glycols right now.
The first one I have not tracked it because it listed recently. And India Glycol, definitely for long term, it's a great stock, but then there is a problem with the availability of the input prices like rice price, and also oil price suddenly again cracked 17-18%. That is also negative for India Glycol. So therefore, if he's a long-term investor, he can. Otherwise, he can wait for some more time.
Well, the next question is from Mr. Elango from Singapore, and his query is that he has bought Tata Motors around 1,000 shares at a price of around 650, and he wants to know whether should he hold the stock for another 1 year, Mr. Chokhalingam.
I would prefer Maruti to Tata Motor. Tata Motor done very well, and it is in the performance is in the price. I believe the Maruti, the way they are increasing the market, the market share in SUV. And the kind of growth they are showing on year-on-year basis in SUV, there is a lot of upstream left in Maruti.
All right, this one is coming in from a viewer who's written, okay, this is from Narveer Jadhav. He's writing to us from Hyderabad, and he has saying the only stock that he wants is there in his portfolio and that he wants to look to get out of is BPCL, Kunal. He's been holding on to this counter for the last 2 years at a price of around 418 rupees per share, 1100 stocks of this particular counter. He's saying he's got 40,000 rupees as a dividend for this particular stock. He's saying still a loss of 15,000 after including the dividend. Please advise whether I should hold on to this one at least till March 2024 or what should be his strategy.
Yeah, I think you should hold on to it for at least another maybe 1.5 odd month or slightly more than that. I don't think you should probably hold on to it till March 2024 because my sense is that the rally which has played out for the oil marketing companies could probably have one more leg on the upside before these stocks they get into a major time-wise correction. That could probably lead BPCL to around 410, 415 mark. So I think till those levels you could probably continue to hold on. My sense is that that should probably be achieved in the next one to 2 months max. So that's the target range which I have. That's where you can look to book out full profits and then move on and look out for trying to diversify your portfolio and having many number of stocks.
Well, we are seeing a lot of queries coming in for IDFC and IDFC First, and this was an interesting one. And this is from Sridhar, and he holds around 2,000 shares of IDFC, and he's asking whether he can continue to hold these shares as an arbitrage benefit because of the merger, or should he sell it out, Mr. Chokalingam?
I would give a sell call on both. I think they have played out very well. The kind of equity base they have, I still hold the view that it is very difficult to make enormous wealth in the medium term, short term or medium term. I would prefer Karur Vysya Bank to IDFC First Bank. Karur Vysya Bank has reduced the net NPA to below 0.5%. This is a marvelous achievement, and also it's showing some growth in the business. So I firmly prefer Karur Vysya Bank to both IDFC and IDFC First Bank.
Kunal, what would be your view on both the stocks, IDFC and IDFC First?
So I'm extremely bullish on both of these names. I think those last 2 months or 3 months of patch of correction is now getting into that final stage. Maybe another couple of weeks or maybe another month or max of correction for the stock price, or at least an underperforming stage. But I believe that these stocks could make a strong comeback. So my belief is that these stocks look very attractive and you could continue to hold on.
Okay, so that also would apply for Mr. K. Parthasarthi, Kunal, because he also has IDFC 300 shares at 123 and also IDFC First Bank 100 shares at 55 rupees. So he can continue to hold on to both of them,
Correct.
right? All right. The next query that I have is coming in from Subrata Mukherjee, and he wants to book a loss by selling LIC and look to buy Karnataka Bank. He wants to know whether it's a good strategy to adopt right now. Kunal, he wants your views on this.
See, the only concern with the charts, I mean, with the charts relatively, is that LIC is at the cusp of a breakout. Yes, I understand that the stock is very slow moving. It may take a lot of time for the stocks, but we've seen what's happened to many of the slow moving stocks, erstwhile the likes of ONGC, NTPC, Coal India, etc. And now these stocks have changed the beta for themselves. And the other catch is that Karnataka Bank is at the cusp of a minor corrective wave. The stock in the last 1 month, I think, is corrected from 250 levels to now 216, 217 where the stock is trading. Maybe another leg of correction could get the stock back towards that 182, 200 mark. So the switch could be good, but the timing of the switch may not be perfect. I would suggest to wait out if you're looking to switch. Maybe closer to 180 or 190 mark for KTK Bank could be a good level where you can do that switch.
Well, Kunal, another query coming in for you, and this is from Amit Mishra, and he has a couple of them. Firstly, on Ashok Leland, he has bought November futures at a price of around 173 and Britannia November futures at a price of around 4,572. He just needs a general guidance whether should he hold or should he exit.
See, Ashok Leland, you can hold on to it, but don't keep any at least on the charts, I would not look out for major targets on the upside. I think 176 to 180 is a major resistance band for Ashok Leland, and time and again we've seen the stock taking resistance at those levels. So your target ranges have to be very, very minute over there. In case if you're looking to extend the stock on the targets on the upside, then maybe closer to 176, 180 mark. What you can do is maybe hedge it with a 175 put option if the strike is available. To hedge your current futures position. Britannia, on the other hand, I think you should continue to hold on. Many of these FMCG stocks are making a comeback. Britannia is at the cusp of a breakout. It may probably take another 1 or 2 weeks for the stock to break out, but if that happens, I would probably expect at least another 200 to 400 point up move for the stock price.
All right, the next one is coming specifically for you, Mr. Chokalingam. This one is from our viewer Sagar, and he wants your view on Gravita India. He has a big chunk of this, about 90,000 odd shares of Gravita India that he actually purchased at a level of 42 to 43 rupees per share. And he's saying he's been tracking this stock from about 2015 and he invested in 2020 given the fact that post-COVID the valuations kind of became attractive. He's wanted to know what's the scope of further headroom for this particular counter, Gravita India that is, given the fact that the stock has already seen a spectacular run, about 22 times is what he's booking profits or he's seeing profits of. So he wants to know whether there is headroom for further growth for Gravita India going ahead, and what's your estimates for the earnings for this counter going ahead?
I think you should start selling and booking profit. I just looked at the fundamentals. The valuations is highly stretched now, and the stock also has gone up almost 4 times from the bottom. Of course, the valuation also very stretched now, so you should sell. But only suggestion to all the retail investors is that based on my sell call, don't sell in one go, because every week 5 to 8 lakh new investors are coming, retail investors. Many of them, I believe, I may be wrong, they are least experienced on the stock market, so they are coming and buying whatever is recommended on social media. So therefore, selling always phase out in many phases. But definitely don't miss this massive rally in the small cap, mid cap. History shows one thing, that in the last 15 years, it never sustained for more than 3 to 4 years. Invariably, such a rally always saw a massive fall. So a lot of headwinds are there. So always sell in phases. Don't sell in one go.
Good advice coming in from Mr. Chokhalingam. Also, the next query is for you. This is from Sudip Chaudhary from West Bengal. He's holding around 500 shares of Zomato bought at around 112 rupees per share. Now, given the fact that the stock price has already doubled in the last 6 months, what would be your advice here? Should he continue to hold or should he sell?
I have inherent bias against the companies which don't make much money, but they make a lot of market cap. So I may be wrong, but definitely I maintain negative view on such companies, including Zomato.
All right, so let's move on, and this one is coming in from our viewer Vidya and wants to know whether she can buy the following stocks for a time frame of 2 years, and she is basically kind of classifying those 2 years as a long-term investment. So Kunal, 2 years, she's given us a slew of stocks, but Exide, BLS, Bank of Maharashtra, IDFC First and Canara. Out of these, which one do you think makes sense to buy for a period of 2 years at least?
So BLS could be a good buy at current levels. I track the stock. I think at 270-75 where the stock is trading looks attractive. Canara Bank is something which you should definitely have as part of your portfolio. Exide Industries has emerged as a very strong performer, I think, in the last 6 odd months. If I'm not wrong, it's moved from sub 200 levels to now 270 plus mark. So again, that looks very attractive. So if you're looking out for picking out few handful names, I would look out for Canara Bank, Exide, and then maybe BLS could be a good add to your portfolio.
Well, the next query is coming in from Pratiksha from Oman, and she has on couple of them. Firstly, on GE Shipping, she has bought it around 772, and she has also bought Shipping Corporation of India at 155, and she is making currently losses on both the stocks. She wants to know from Mr. Kunal, can she hold the stock for another 6 months?
GE Shipping and the second one was?
Shipping Corporation of India.
Yeah, I think both these stocks, I would actually suggest to hold on to these names. So, many of these PSU stocks which had actually rallied up, they've gone through a phase of correction. These corrections could probably last for another 4-5 percentage points. They've not yet hit their oversold nature of indicators. Neither these stocks have completed that mean reversion process. But I would believe that possibly another 5% down is where you can look to start averaging both of these stocks.
All right, the next one is coming from Satya, and he wants to know whether it's prudent to hold on to ITD cementation. And also, Mr. Chokhalingam, since you have joined us today and we could not get your top Diwali picks, so he's requesting you if you could give some top Diwali picks from your end for the new year.
Yeah, certainly. ITD cement, I have a sell call, sell view, and for long term, I can suggest a couple of stocks. One is Bombay Burma. Of course, some of my followers may be bored with me, but time is right for Bombay Burma to play out in a very big way. That is my strong belief. And second, KCP Limited. The results have come. Very good results, only backed by sugar division, which is in Vietnam. cement has turned around, but yet to make a lot of money. Is not KCP Sugar, it is KCP Limited. And the KCP Limited has got a lot of land bank in Chennai and highly profitable sugar business in Vietnam and 43 lakh ton of cement capacity and with more than 3 decades of limestone mining rights. I think this could be possibly a multi-bagger. These are the two stocks I can just suggest today for long-term investors.
All right, so
And
that's the Diwali picks coming from Mr. Chokalingam. And for all of you all who are wondering where is Kunal's picks, remember last whole week Kunal was kind enough to give us his picks, 3 picks each day. So if you've missed it, then you can definitely watch it on our social media platforms. But for now, we'll slip into a break on this edition of Buy Now, Sell Now. More queries on the other side. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. You're watching Buy Now, Sell Now on ET Now. Let's continue taking all of a stock-related query. And this one is for you, Mr. Chokalingam. And this one's from Tushar. He's writing to us from Delhi. And he wants to know by Himmat Singha side, if that is a good stock to invest for the long term, considering the growing textile export potential for India. And this group is being a textile major with a global footprint is what he's saying. Also, he wants a suggestion on Federal Bank for the long term, considering it holds a true all-around potential for a mid-sized bank and has shown good quarterly results. It's heartening to see actually a lot of our viewers try and analyze a company, read the balance sheet, at least take a look at the fundamentals of a company before looking to invest. But they want your suggestion as well, Mr. Chokalingam. Himmat Singha side, Federal Bank, do you think they're good to buy for the long term based on fundamentals?
This is the time to look at the fundamentals. But unfortunately, the crores of new investors have come. In my interaction, nobody talks about the valuation multiple, only the price momentum, which is dangerous. So I appreciate your viewers. And Himmat Singha CDA, I would suggest a sell because the whole textile industry, I know that it is not a traditional textile company, silk-based one, but still across the world, the business is not doing well. Even the Q2 is not great. In terms of valuation also, it is stretched. So in my view, it's a good sell. Yes, Federal Bank for long term, it's a good stock. It has got a size and it has got a growth. And it also proven in the past that in the long term, it always creates wealth for the shareholders. So therefore, I would give a buy call on Federal Bank for long term.
Next query is from Rosa from Bangalore and it's on 2 stocks. Firstly on Laurus Labs, she has around 600 shares bought at 475. She's asking whether should she buy more or average, and also she would want to know more about Morpen Lab. Is it a good time to buy, Kunal?
Yeah, I think both these stocks are good. Laurus Labs is a bit of an underperformer, of course, with respect to its other peers, at least in the last 1 or 2 weeks. But I believe that the stock could make a very strong comeback from this 370 odd levels. I think 410 approximately was the recent high for Laurus Labs. From there, the stock has corrected. So I think it's a good time to try and add the stock further. Morpen Labs also, I think on the weekly and the monthly charts rather is looking very attractive. So the stock has in the last, I think 4-5 days has seen a more than a 10 to 15% up move. But I think at current levels, since the longer term charts are looking poised for a breakout, I think that could also be a good buy.
All right, this one is coming from Subhi Reddy Bumana, and this one is for you, Kunal. Subhi Reddy purchased 400 shares of Piramal Pharma at a price of 98 rupees per share. Wants to know whether to hold, sell or add. I know that very limited chart history you would have of Piramal Pharma, but any suggestion?
But I would still suggest a hold. In fact, the recent charts had actually been very positive for Piramal Pharma. There was a sharp selling, I think, in the start or second half of the month of October, where the stock came back towards 90 or 95 odd range. That was actually the exact point of coinciding with the 200 DMA. And from there, the stock has started a new rally or a fresh rally for itself. I think this could be termed as a completion of mean reversion and a start of a new trend for Piramal Pharma. You should continue to hold.
Well, the next one is for Mr. Chokalingam, coming in from Thomas from Cochin. Now, the first query is from liquor space: United Spirits, United Breweries, Radico Khaitan and Sula Wines, which is the best long-term investment. And the second one is which stock to invest, either should it be Supreme Industries or Craftsman Auto?
Between Supreme Industry and Craftsman, I would prefer Craftsman for long term. Of course, in the short term, slightly stretched, but then still in the long term, it is good. And I don't know that why he is specific to make investment in liquor companies. The main objective should be always to make money across, but still, if he's talking about spirit companies alone, then I would prefer United Spirits followed by Solar Vineyards, and both only for long term. Short term, I believe that these two stocks might disappoint.
This one is coming from Divya. 500 shares of Precol is what she's holding, Kunal. It's corrected 10% in 2 days, but she has about 50% profit in the counter. Do you think it's time, does it warrant to get perturbed about with the stock price movement, and should she go ahead and book profits, or what sort of a strategy should she adopt when it comes to Precol?
See, I think it's a fantastic chart. I remember, I think, tracking the stock when it was at 30 or 40 odd rupees, some time back, and the stock has now moved to 300 plus mark. I think it's a fantastic uptrend for the stock price. The only concern which is rightfully emerging on the stock is that the indicators are now getting into a deep overbought territory. So I think the quarterly RSI, for example, is almost at 89 to 90 levels for Precol. That could probably be warranting some sort of a cool off or at least a time-wise correction. So it could be a good opportunity for you. Can start to look to book out profits. You don't have to book out everything at current levels. Wait out for a mild bounce, but I think that should be the opportunity which you should be looking out for.
Well, the next one is coming in from Mr. Vinod from Gurugram. He has around 400 shares of ITC bought at around 323 rupees per share. He's a long-term investor and he wants to know whether should he hold, sell or add more, Mr. Chokhalingam.
ITC at current level, it's a relative call because, as I said repeatedly, I am a little nervous on small and mid cap. So if they fall, ITC should do well. Even in absolute term, I believe unlocking potential is there apart from hotel industry, also in IT business of ITC. So therefore, one can buy at the current level.
All right. This next query that I have is coming in from Jay Devappa and wants to know about Divi's Laboratories, 25 shares. Purchased at 3,050 rupees per share. Holding this particular counter for the last 1 year, Mr. Chokhalingam wants to know whether it makes sense to stay put with Divi's Laboratories for the longer term or look to book profits. And it's good the fact that he's actually making profits in Divi's Laboratories, because given the fact that post earnings, you could only see the stock go one way, and that was down.
See, the Divi's Lab, the growth has sunk. The growth momentum has sunk for the business and profits. And therefore, I firmly believe that this kind of valuation, it doesn't deserve. And also, if you look at the con call script of many, there is some pressure on the margins in the US business for the whole industry. So considering these two, I would suggest sell and book profit in Divi's Lab.
The next query is coming in from Sri Krishna from Hyderabad and it's for Kunal, and he has around 50 shares of CAMS bought at around 2,785 rupees per share. What is your view on the stock from short to medium term?
See, I'm very bullish on this chart, and in fact, it's emerging as a breakout or a potential breakout candidate, like what we saw for many of the other names, not in the similar space as such, but I think the likes of BSE, CDSL, etc., where these stocks had given a breakout. CAMS is also posing a very similar kind of a chart. I would suggest to hold on to the stock. If possible, you can look to add in case if there is any kind of a dip, say towards 2450, 2480 kind of a mark for the stock.
All right, Kunal, coming to you once again. Sudha has written to us and she wants to know, out of the different sectors, the stocks that she's mentioned, she wants to know which one is better to hold on for 1 year or so. She has CCL products, Ratan India, Saxoft and Alembic or TVS Motor. She wants to know from these sectors, which one do you think, or from these stocks, which one do you think is a good one to hold on for the next 1 year?
The last one was?
TVS Motor.
Okay.
Alembic Limited, Saxoft, Ratan India and CCL products.
See, Ratan India I'm bullish on. In fact, that was also one of the picks which I had highlighted previous week when we were discussing the Diwali picks. That's something which I would suggest to hold on to even at current levels. Saxoft also is another stock which you can continue to hold on. If you've not bought, then I think you should consider buying the stock at current levels. CCL on the other hand, I think if I'm not wrong, the stock is going through a pattern of lower highs and lower lows, which means a corrective wave is seeping into the stock price. So you can wait out for maybe another 10% correction into the stock and then look to buy. TVS Motors, again, a fantastic stock which has done exceptionally well over the last few quarters and as well as over the last many years. But again, the only catch is that the stock is now seemingly getting into that overbought territory. So wait out for a correction here as well.
The next query is coming in from Ramesh from Kochi, and it's on CDSL. He has around 80 shares bought at 280 rupees, which is nearly 7x gain that he has currently made. He's been holding the stock for 4 years. Mr. Chokalingam, should he continue to hold the stock going forward?
See, as I already mentioned, long-term prospects look good, but the stock has already played out. I do expect a significant correction in small and mid-cap space. Therefore, I believe one should realize the kind of gains one making in stock like CDSL.
This one is coming from Yuvraj, writing to us from Chennai. He wants to know about car trade. He's already invested in this counter. He's seeing 50% profit in this one. Should he look to continue to hold on to it or book profits right now?
See, I would suggest to hold on to it. The only reason is because, of course, the charts are limited. But then on the monthly charts, the indicators are getting into a momentum breakout. And we've seen that whenever that's happened, that's resulted into a major multi-month uptrend for the stock price in between. But what could happen is that the stock may pause in between. So if you're okay risking out maybe 10% of your profits, which you've already gained on car trade, then I think you should continue to hold on.
And the next one is from Raju from Bangalore, and he has around 240 shares of Aditya Birla Fashion. He's asking whether should he hold or sell. At least Morgan Stanley is suggesting to sell. Kunal, what would be your technical view?
I would suggest to just hold on to it as of now. Don't need to add also at current levels. The stock has been a big drag. I think from 350 levels last year, it's corrected towards sub 200 mark. Now the stock is trying to come closer to the 200 moving average on the short-term charts. It's not yet confirmed a breakout. Maybe it could take another month or so for the stock to get into that breakout zone. So I would suggest a hold because this time-wise correction could be a bit painful for the stock price. Whenever it breaks out this 200 DMA, which I think is at 225 to 30 mark for ABFRL, that could be a breakout point where you may look to add further.
All right, Mr. Chokalingam, this one is for you, coming in from Annadurai and wants to know about Vakrangi. He already has this in his portfolio, about 400 shares, average price is 65 rupees per share. Wants to know what should he do with this particular counter. Do you think this has any prospects going ahead? Because you can see the stock price of Vakrangi right now, and also it's been marred by negative news flows also.
Based on my balance sheet reading of stocks like Vakrangi, EKI, Breadcom Group, there's so many. I have given them sell call in the last 6-7 years at a phenomenal price. I don't, recommend buy these kind of stocks. I mean, I don't get comfort at all. I may be wrong by reading the balance sheet of these companies and understanding the business model. So I would not, I would never give a buy call on such stocks.
Well, with that, let's slip into a short break and we'll take up more viewer queries in a couple of minutes.
Welcome back. You're watching Buy Now Sell Now on ET Now, a show where we get to answers for all of your stock-related queries. Let's continue taking your queries then. And this one is coming in from Sudeep, writing to us from Mumbai. It's a long-term investment query is what he's saying. It's for you, Mr. Chokalingam. He's asking whether it's a good idea to buy a fresh Suzlon, Dixon Tech, Kingfa Life Sciences in a staggered manner or in an SIP mode for a period of 2 to 3 years. Do you think stocks like Suzlon, Dixon and Kingfa make sense?
Suzlon, I mean, I have looked at it, and this is the kind of stock, again, I do not recommend. Kingfa Life Science, yes, in case it falls little more, one can consider.
The next one is from Vijay Sao from Odisha, and he wants Kunal sir's view on LTI Mindtree and Indiabulls Housing Finance. He's holding both in futures at a price of 160 and 5,146. That is LTI Mindtree at 5,146 and Indiabulls Housing at 160.
So hold on to Indiabulls Housing if you are. I'm assuming that you are willing to take some risk on the F&O category. I'm not sure whether the stock is in ban list or not, but I think that's a stock which is looking like a potential breakout candidate over here. LTI Mindtree, you can continue to maybe start booking out profits or consider booking out profits at current levels. I think same in line with what I mentioned for Persistent, that many of these mid-cap IT names are looking a bit stretched, and these stocks are trying to form some divergence in their patterns in indicators specifically. So that's where I would suggest to book profits.
All right, this one is for you, Kunal, and this one's from Dr. Anil Agarwal. He's writing to us from Mumbai. He's a long-term investor, but however, he has 37,000 shares of Titagarh Rail that he's purchased at levels of 94 rupees per share. He wants to know whether he should look to exit or look to add some more of this counter. He's not told us exactly when he has actually invested, but given the fact he's a long-term investor, and you can see what it's done to his portfolio.
Well, yeah, I think it's moved exceptionally, well for itself. So first of all, congratulations to you on holding on to the stock with such a good quantity. I think at current levels, you can continue to hold on to the stock. Maybe just book out, 7,000, 8,000 quantity from your existing kitty, but hold on to a major chunk of it. I think the railways or the rally in railways is not yet over, and we could probably see the second leg playing out, which could be a more of a multi-year rally, which we could probably expect, for many of these names.
And the next one is for you, Mr. Chokhalingam, from Mohit from Ludhiana. Now, he has around 75 shares of Windlass Biotech at a price of around 386. His time horizon is more than 1 year. What should he do? Should he continue to hold or sell?
The name properly.
It's Windlass Biotech.
Okay, I'm sorry, I do not track this company.
Okay.
Kunal, you want to share your view on this one by any chance, Windlass?
I don't track it.
Okay, fine. Then let's, one stock that you definitely track, Axis Bank at a price of around 960 rupees per share, 500 shares is what Madan Mohan has. Should he hold on to this one for the next 1 year?
See, hold on to it, but again, the last 3 odd months has shown us that many of these private sector banking names have underperformed. They've gone through a time correction. Axis Bank has also gone through a similar patch of correction, but it says that the stock has been making a higher base for itself from earlier 950 to now 1000, which is a good base for Axis Bank. That's the only positive part. But then I'm not sure whether in terms of the relative returns, the stock can outperform many of its other peers in the PSU basket. So that's the only catch. But yeah, I think it's a good stock. You can continue to hold on.
Next query is from Madhvi from Bangalore, and she wants to know about Trident and HFCL. Now, she currently holds around 900 shares of Trident at a price of around 47. She's asking should she average going forward, and also should she buy HFCL, Mr. Chokhalingam?
I would not suggest buying more. Trident, again, there is a lot of headwinds in the industry, and therefore I would not suggest. Just slipped out of a second name. What is that second name?
Well, the second name was, just a minute, I'll just find it.
HFCL.
HFCL.
Yeah, I think it has played out very well, and it's a time to book profit. If you are losing money, just hold on. The moment you recover, you can sell it off.
All right, this is coming from Bangalore, all the way from Bangalore. Lakshmi is written to us, 100 shares of Pidilite at a price of 315 rupees per share. Kunal, should she continue to hold on to Pidilite or look to go ahead and book profits in this particular counter? Spectacular returns is what she's making with her holdings in Pidilite.
Well, I was actually considering maybe it could be a zero which could be missing. But I think it's a good, great profits for you on Pidilite. I think it could be a good time where you may look to start considering to book profits. And again, I think the catch for Pidilite is on the short-term charts at a point when the markets are, getting to a breakout mode, the stock is trading below its 200-day moving average. That could be a point of concern for the stock, at least in terms of the next 6 months to 1 year trajectory, which could probably lead into a correction further.
And the next query is from Seema from Kolkata, and she has purchased, she did not mention how many shares, but she has shares of Explio Solutions at around 1400 rupees. She's asking for advice whether she should continue to hold or sell. Mr. Chokhalingam, do you track this stock?
I used to track explosive solutions. I'm not able to see just a minute. So one can hold it, another 5% to 10% is possible. It's a good quality IT company, niche company. Of course, it's a small company, one can hold it.
Right, this next one is coming in from a viewer, Vishwanathan Nair, and wants to know whether it's good idea to enter HP adhesives. Kunal, I don't know whether you track this one, and or if not that, would you recommend Jyoti Resins or Pidilite?
Pidilite, so I just mentioned that it looks weak. Jyoti Resins as well as HP adhesives, I don't track the stock, so I'll skip it.
And the next one is from Sunil from Muscat, and he wants to know what is the status of holding companies, and should he go ahead and buy? Mr. Chokhalingam, what do you see of holding companies like Bajaj Holdings, and there are many others in the list like Pilani Investments and stuff?
There's been all of us know, a massive rally in the small and mid cap stocks. So definitely the holding companies should also get benefit. I have looked at all of them, most of them rather. I have a bias for Bombay Burma, which is a holding company of Britannia. Then I have BFI Investment, the Kalyani Group. That's another holding company. These are the two holding companies. We have a buy rating, and I have a tremendous confidence in these two holding companies.
Right, this one is coming in from Mali, writing to us from Hyderabad, and Kunal wants to know whether she should look to sell Ircon International, bought at the levels of 154 rupees per share. 1,500 shares of Ircon International is what she had purchased, and instead look to buy Piramal Enterprises currently.
No, I would not suggest to make that switch. I think Ircon is doing exceptionally well. Piramal, on the other hand, I think is going through a drag. There could be a possibility that the stock may correct towards its 200 DMA. Maybe try and retest those levels or even break below those levels over the near term. Looking at the near term weakness, I would suggest not to make that switch.
All right, with that, let's actually kickstart with the rapid fire then. And the first query that we have is coming in from Arvind. He has about Adani Green, bought an average price of 1,375 rupees per share. 500 shares is what he purchased. Can he hold on for the next 3 years, Mr. Chokalingam?
Unfortunately, I don't track this company.
And the next one is from Chandra from Mysore. GSFC 1400 shares bought at 205. Should he hold or switch to BHEL for medium term, Kunal?
Anytime, I think you should switch to BHEL.
Okay, another one coming from Arvind itself, Emphasis. He has about 150 shares at a price of 2510 rupees per share. Can he hold on for the next 3 years and look to average as well, Mr. Chokalingam?
Infosys is better than Emphasis based on the valuations.
And the next one is from Shrikant from Pune. He's holding around 1,000 shares of ACC, bought at 2,086. Can he hold till December or should he book some profits, Kunal?
Hold on.
All right, this one is coming in from RK Ahuja. Kunal, Welspun Corp is the stock. He's already sold 50% of his holding, but the stock has gone up more after he's gone ahead and exited. He wants to know whether he should add some more right now and for how long.
I think you should wait out for a corrective phase.
The next one is from Mr. Chokalingam from Guruswamy, and he's holding Dream Folks around 50 shares. Should he continue to hold for long term?
Sorry, I couldn't get the name.
Dream Folks Services.
No, I don't track this company.
Kunal, this one is coming in from one of our viewers who not mentioned name, NMDC, I believe, bought at the levels of 500 rupees per share. Wants to know when to sell this counter.
Well, I think if bought at 500, it's a very good time where you should to average.
And the next one is on REC, Mr. Chokalingam. Should someone book or hold, should someone continue to hold or book profits at current level?
Book profits. Book profits.
All right, the next query that I have, actually we've, for the first time I believe we are almost running out of queries today, but yes, the next one I have is Kunal. This one is coming in from Ram Gopal Reddy. He wants to know about Mirza International. Should he continue to hold on to this counter or look to exit given the fact that the stock has seen pressure on earnings?
Yeah, pressure and the near-term trends are also weak for the stock. Good time to exit.
Kunal, this is from Jay Krishnan from Kerala. He has around some shares of MTAR Tech bought at around 2,500 levels. Should he sell and shift to Maruti?
Yeah, I think it could be a good strategy.
All right, and with that we come to the end of the rapid fire as well as the query segment. Thank you so much, Mr. Chokalingam as well as Kunal for joining us on the show. And viewers, I believe we've set a record for ourselves. Almost 50 queries is what we've taken in today's edition of Buy Now Sell Now. Great start to New Year's. Looks like it. But with that, we will wind down on this edition of Buy Now Sell Now. Stay tuned. Marcus and coming up next.